Kanye West's latest album, Jesus is King, isn't shy about his connection to the Most High, telling fans at his most recent New York City album listening session, quote, "This has been an incredible journey. This album has been made to be an expression of the gospel and to share the gospel and the truth of what Jesus has done to me." And as a man of God with a God complex, Ye's had a long and winding musical relationship with religion. So, Genius News took a look back at Yeezy's spiritual journey through his lyrics, beginning with the 2004 hit, Jesus Walks.
God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing that I pray is that my feet don't fail me now.
In the early aughts, Kanye was a new artist and producer trying to break into an industry dominated by gangster rap. But as a middle-class kid, Kanye rapped about what he knew: fashion envy, dating, and dropping out of college, as well as trying to be a good Christian son, something heard throughout Jesus Walks.
So here go my single, dog. Radio needs this. They said you can rap about anything except for Jesus. That means gun, sex, lies, videotape. But if I talk about God, my record won't get played.
I'm a Christian. It's important to me that, that I grow, and walk and raise my family with that, with Christian values.
Jesus Walks solidified his popularity with both the religious and secular crowds. However, his label Def Jam wasn't thrilled about his religious leap. Ye's longtime A&R Plain Pat recalled a conversation with then Def Jam head Lyor Cohen saying, quote, "We were like, check this Jesus Walks one out." And Lyor was like, "Don't fuck it up, Kanye." Throughout his debut album, The College Dropout, Mr. West name-dropped Jesus and how he felt God had ordered his steps to be the world's biggest artist. He drew on gospel's legacy, interpolating lines from old Negro spirituals and enlisting the Harlem Boys Choir.
And I fall on my knees with my face to the rising sun.
Keep your nose out the sky, keep your heart to God, and keep your face to the rising sun.
And he kept the revival going on 2005's Late Registration and 2007's Graduation. He shot videos in cathedrals and worked in references like testifying, which in church means to share what the Lord has done for you in hooks.
I gotta testify, come up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky.
Throughout this time, he was becoming a bankable star and a fledgling designer. And on Can't Tell Me Nothing, he worked to square his faith with his hedonism.
I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I told God I'll be back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless. To whom much is given, much is tested.
That last line is a verse from the Bible, Luke chapter 12, verse 48, which reads, quote, "For unto whomsoever much is given, of him much shall be required." Then in November 2007, Ye's mother and closest confidant, Dr. Donda West, died of plastic surgery complications.
Surrounded by friends and family, Kanye West arrived at the True Vine Ministry Church to lay his mother to rest.
The following year, his 808s and Heartbreak was less a jovial reflection of God's blessings and more pop art ruminations on fame's pitfalls, wayward love, and his search for meaning. In fact, he only mentions God by name once on Love Lockdown.
But I'm not loving you way I wanted to. Gotta keep it going, keep the loving going, keep it on a roll, only God knows.
Then at the 2009 MTV VMA Awards, Kanye interrupted Taylor Swift, shocking the world. In the face of withering backlash, Ye exiled himself while prepping his next album and hoping pop culture could forgive him. The Good Friday series, a nod to Jesus' crucifixion in the Bible, dropped Star-Studded Lucy's as a lead up to the next project. And later that year, he debuted Runaway at the VMAs, asking for forgiveness, and dropped My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy soon after, filled with his usual God mentions, but this time he was a deity too.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it, do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music.
Is hip-hop just a euphemism for a new religion? The soul music of the slaves that the youth is missing? But this is more than just my road to redemption. Malcolm West had the whole nation standing at attention.
On the bonus track, See Me Now, Ye spit one of his first raps officially calling himself a god, though it did double duty as a nod to the Chicago-born gangs, the Gangster Disciples, and the Vice Lords.
Every one of his majesty swim parties is pageantries. Cannonball off the diving board when I am bored. All my homies GDs, but I am Lord. rap god, Greek mythology.
In 2011, Jay-Z and Kanye's duet album Watch the Throne opens with the rejection of traditional religion thanks to No Church in the Wild. On the project, the guys assert themselves as towering figures with comparisons and call-outs to biblical icons.
Twisted love story, true romance, Mary Magdalene from a pole dance.
By 2012's Cruel Summer, Kanye and the Good Music Crew make The Divine the new standard for their rhymes with New God flow. And Ye compares himself to Jesus on his remix of Chief Keef's Don't Like.
Welcome to Sunday service. If you hope to someday service, we got green in our eyes. Just follow my egg sermon. Did Moses not part the water with the cane? Did strippers not make an ark when I made it rain? The media crucify me like they did Christ. They wanna find me not breathing like they found Mike.
2013's Yeezus sees Kanye turn his God complex up a notch, with the title being clearly a play on his nickname and Jesus. He even credits God as a featured artist on I Am a God because they have a conversation.
I am a God, even though I'm a man of God. My whole life in the hand of God. So y'all better quit playing with God.
Ye also took Jesus on tour. Next, in the lead up to 2016's The Life of Pablo, Kanye had moved on to a new phase.
This is a gospel album with a whole lot of cursing on it, but it's still a gospel album. And the gospel according to Ye.
Most of the songs on the album didn't really sound gospel-like, except for Ultralight Beam, which opens the album with the sample of a little girl's prayer.
Yes. We don't want no devils in the house, God.
Yes,
we
Lord.
want the Lord.
Yes,
That's
Jesus.
it. We don't want no devils in the house.
Yes,
We
Lord.
want the Lord.
Yes.
That's it.
The Life of Pablo itself is named after three famous Pablos: Pablo Picasso, Pablo Escobar, and another Pablo from the Bible, the Apostle Paul, whose name in Spanish is also Pablo.
Apostle Paul really influenced and was like the strongest influencer of Christianity.
And while Ye doubles as Kanye's nickname and the title of his 2018 album, Ye, it also appears in scripture.
I believe Ye is the most commonly used word in the Bible, and in the Bible it means you. So it's, I'm you, I'm us. It's us.
At the time of Ye's release, Kanye faced backlash for his support of President Donald Trump despite his racist rhetoric and policies, and Kanye's own tumultuous interviews.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
Many questioned his mental health and erratic tweets. On Ye, Kanye addressed this and said he was bipolar, though he later said he was misdiagnosed.
I can feel the spirits all around me. I think prison bikers trying to warn me. They know I got demons all on me. Devil been trying to make an army.
A week later, Kids See Ghosts, Kanye's collab with Kid Cudi, dropped, where he continued his lyrical battle with mental and spiritual turmoil. But here, he's repentant as he raps about his inner peace and finding religious redemption.
For anybody who said that I was better off dead, told them don't ever leave nothing that you ever read. Got a Bible by my bed, oh yes, I'm very Christian. Constantly repenting, cause yes, I never listen.
By December 2018, Kanye tweeted that Chance the Rapper had helped him find his way back to Christ. A month later, Kanye gathered a choir to perform hymnal versions of his catalog and more, in what would become his weekly Sunday service performance and a sort of never-ending album promo. On Easter Sunday 2019, he took his Sunday service to Coachella and debuted the track Water with themes of purity and rebirth. There's even been talk of Kanye wanting to start his own church. And while that all may be new, as he flew around the country hosting pop-up Sunday services in Detroit and New York City during the last week of September 2019, Kanye's embrace of Christianity, even leading him to crown himself King of all kings, has been his touchstone. His music has always been a reflection of his spirituality, and it looks like, with Jesus as King, the two are more intertwined than ever. I'm Hillary with Genius News, bringing you the meaning and the knowledge behind the music.